Wildcard weekend is in the books. I was 2-2. I was wrong on Saturday. I was right on Sunday. So for the Titans fans and the Falcons fans, I sincerely apologize. And this is me putting my head down. Now let's talk about what transpired. First, let's start with the Kansas City Chiefs blowing a freaking 21-3 lead. What the hell are you guys doing? Do you work for Brazzers? Why are you blowing leads for? Were you the Falcons? Did you take it off? All of a sudden we're from Atlanta where the players play. How the hell do you do that? Alright, you want to know why the Chiefs lost the game? Because they played retarded. You have the #1 leading rusher in the league. Yes, it was somewhat fictitious. Le'Veon Bell didn't play the last game. Todd Gurley didn't play the last game. But still, Kareem Hunt ended the year as the NFL's leading rusher. He had 11 carries on the day. 5 carries or 6 in the second half. Ridiculous. You're up by 3 scores. Hand the ball off. Kill some clock. At least try to establish a run game. But what did they do? In the first half, Alex Smith went out there and put on a show, so they said, all right, let's keep the train going. That's not what you do. Tennessee did exactly what I said they should do. Hand it off to Derrick Henry and hope to God this man eats up that Chiefs defense, and lo and behold, that's what happened. I said before, the Chiefs are very susceptible to the run. Through the air, they did pretty good against Mariota. I believe he only threw for 205 yards? Threw that miraculous touchdown to himself. You've got a better chance seeing the freaking Hiroshima come back to prominence during the freaking bomb of the atom bomb falling on top of them than seeing somebody else throw a damn touchdown to themselves again. But, lo and behold, Mariota went out there, he got it done in the second half. Nothing but resilience for the Tennessee Titans, went out there and took care of business. As for Alex Smith, this is probably going to be his last game as a Kansas City Chief. Andy Reid, you're probably going to end up getting fired because offensively, I'm not understanding what was going through your head during the second half. And another thing, they happen to have a trend because Kansas City does not have an offense. It's Alex Smith to Travis Kelce, Alex Smith to Rick Hill, Alex Smith, give it to Kareem Hunt. Evidently, this playoff game, it wasn't give it to Kareem Hunt. It was either Alex Smith to Rick Hill, Alex Smith to Kelce. Kelce, concussion, he's done for the second half. Now it's only get it to Tariq Hill. Let me try to go deep to Albert Wilson, but he don't got no hands. They're just for decoration. You guys lost the damn game. Congrats to the Tennessee Titans. You went out there, took care of business. Moving on to the Saturday night game. In the goddamn NFC, we had the Falcons taking on the Rams. Why did the Rams lose? Special teams woes. What the hell was going through the minds of that dude who touched the damn punt? And then all of a sudden, Atlanta gets the ball in the opposing territory within the damn Tokokino zone, Rosetta Stone Greek. How the hell were they in the red zone that quick? And it's because of your woes, not their own, great, well-oiled machine offense bringing them down there. That's your fault. To the Rams, offensively, you played retarded. Again, Todd Gurley is in the backfield. How does he end the game with only 14 carries? Might I add, 14 carries, 101 yards. Yes, he did only have 3 yards that really broke it open for him. But think about it. Keep feeding this man, and the longer the game goes, the more you wear down the defense, the more the running game works. Keep handing the ball to him. But what did they try to do? The same thing that Kansas City did. Let's make it the Jared Goff show and keep throwing it to everybody. I'm going to throw 45 times. When in the history of the Rams did freaking Jared Goff throw 45 times when you got a possible MVP in the backfield? Give him the ball. This is the same thing that the Rams did in the Super Bowl against the Patriots back in 2001. Rather than give the ball to Marshall Faulk when there were lanes there for him to run, they said it's going to be the Kurt Warner show. 2 years prior, he was lighting it up and set a record against the Titans. Let's do it again. And then you end up losing because the pass rush gets to you. The Rams shot themselves in the foot. You saw it towards the end of the first half. They had 2 drives. They put up about 150 plus yards in total offense on those last 2 drives. Let's just say that started in the beginning of the second quarter. We're probably talking about a different game because they had a wave of momentum. The Falcons got lucky that halftime came, but I must commend the Falcons. Defensively, in the second half, they completely nullified anything that the Rams were doing offensively. Even Jared Goff had some good looks. He had some good looks to Watkins. He had some good looks to Robert Woods. The pass deep to Watkins, he just dropped that. But I must commend the Falcons for going out there and playing. I was completely wrong about that. I was expecting the defense to to do well, but not that well. They went out there and shut them down. The Rams did not play smart offensively, but I must commend those who go out there and play. To the Falcons, you got it done. Those hashtag rise up for Atlanta. Good job for you guys. You got the W. Today, Sunday, we had the first game, AFC matchup. We had the Bills taking on the Jaguars. I expected it to be a low-scoring game. What I expected was Leonard Fournette go out there and run all over the Bills defense. Evidently, that wasn't the case. It was Blake Bortles. But if you're the Bills, you have a good moral victory during the damn coaching because you were able to shut down Jacksonville's offense, but it took a quarterback having to take broken plays and scrambling. Ultimately, you don't have a linebacker who's there watching. We're game planning for Blake Bortles to go and run. You weren't really expecting that, so I can't really fault you guys for that. Shut down the receivers. Blake Bortles went out there and did Blake Bortles things in the first half. I have a wide open receiver. Let me overthrow him. I got a screen pass over here. Let me underthrow it. He played like absolute garbage. Leonard Fournette, there were no lines for there. Bills went out there, played all heart. Bills Mafia was strong. Offensively, they couldn't do anything. Tyrod Taylor, I was saying it, or if you follow me on Snapchat, you saw me going crazy. The Jacksonville Jaguars defense is like this. On the outside of the hash marks, they are absolutely the best in the league. You can't throw the ball outside the hash marks on them. But in the middle of the field, that is their weakness. Because when Barry Church, he bites on every single pass interference. If you're a real Jags fan and you understand football, you see it all the time. He bites hard on there. Colvin, whenever he's at the slot cornerback, he bites hard on the play action fakes. It happens all the time. That's why you saw the Bills have progression over the middle of the field when they came out in the twin sort of formation and they had that slot receiver run a slant. When you had the tight end that was there run a stick, it was always there. You had the running back come out, run that cut and come back in. It was always there. You were able to go down the field. But the Bills, for some apparent reason, they would put together a form of a drive and then they would go, let's go 3 straight passing plays. Keep trying to feed Shady. I understand that he's hurt. So maybe, let me give the ball to Tolbert. Let me possibly run the ball with Taylor. Because to be quite honest, when Taylor started running, it was the same thing as what was happening to the Bills defense. When Bortles had time and then he had to pick up and run himself, there were spots there. What happened to the damn Bills offensively? They started being Republicans because they were playing conservative. All right? So Tyrod Taylor would drop back. He would look. And instincts would say, let me run for the first down. But instead of that, he said, no, today I want to be a pocket passer. I don't want to be the discount Michael Vick that I really am. And that's what happened. They played not like themselves and they ended up losing. They allowed themselves to give up turnovers and the Jacksonville Jaguars kept giving the ball back to them. The Bills should have probably won this game 13-10, but that's not what happened. So for Jacksonville, you guys got the W. Congratulations. We'll see you next week, if you know what I mean. But that's not what we're here to talk about. That's later in the week. So final game, Carolina taking on New Orleans. Phenomenal game. Like I said, that would be the game of Wildcard weekend, and that's exactly what happened. Why did Carolina win? The inability, the ineptitude to finish drives. Too many field goals. Nobody's gonna come out here and say, well, Graham Gano hit that first field goal. This would have been a different game. That's not the case. All right, kickers go out there, they kick. What happened the rest of the game? I believe he hit, 4, 5 field goals? Whatever the case may be. He went out there and bowled after he had his miss, unlike Nick Folk and Blair Walsh, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Cam Newton played phenomenal for what it was. He played phenomenal. He took them down the field throughout the entire first half. I think they only punted like once. On the ground, there was nothing really there, but they didn't really have that all season. I was surprised Cam Newton didn't run more often. I was expecting him to have more QB draws, QB boots. That wasn't the case. Greg Olsen, him and Greg Olsen were on par together. They were on point together. Unlike last week when they played against the Falcons, they went out there and they balled. Caetlin Clay, he dropped that touchdown early in the first quarter. That should have never happened. You have dreadlocks. Catch the ball. All right? But for New Orleans, like I said, if you want to beat this team, you got to shut down the run. Evidently, that's what happened, but you're forgetting something. You have arguably the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, if he had 2 more Super Bowl titles, Drew Brees, right there. And what did he do? He went out there and he was just like Chris Boswell's toe. Efficient. That's what the hell he did. I believe he threw for 370 plus yards? I can't tell you how much completions versus incompletions that he had because I can't remember off the top of my head, but that man was extremely efficient on the day, carving up the defense. Did you see the pass that he threw to Michael Thomas and Josh Hill on that drive when Zach Lane went in for the touchdown? Phenomenal pass. Back shoulder, sort of seam seam route. Josh Hill catches it, he's down. Then throws the freaking Michael Thomas the ball, diving effort. They get inside of the red zone. It was phenomenal to watch this man play quarterback the way it should be played. All right, for the Carolina defense, they weren't that great anyway. The pass rush wasn't really existent for the New Orleans Saints. Their pass rush was getting to Cam Newton a lot. The interior of the Carolina line, they need to draft somebody, because that right and left guard, hot basura. It was bad. It was really bad. Cam Newton was getting hit all day long. He almost got knocked out the game. I could have swore that man was concussed. He ended up getting poked in the eye. He tried to clean his own face, and then a Saints cleat came and hit his arm, and he turned into freaking Roddy Piper, was attacking him from beyond the grave. It was ridiculous. All right, but nonetheless, when game came down to the wire, Cam Newton went out there, bam, hitting Chris McCaffrey, we're going for a touchdown. Bam, hitting Greg Olsen prior to the Chris McCaffrey, get a touchdown. Now they're down by 5 points. Drew Brees, 4th and 2. It almost looked like Belichick and Brady and the Patriots versus the Colts back in, 2009 with the 4th and 2 to pass to Kevin Folk. He caught the ball, but he didn't get past the marker. All of a sudden, Manning down the field, touchdown to Reggie Wayne. I love football. That's why I know all this other stuff. But, it was very similar to that. Drew Brees rolling to his right, forces a pass, interception caught by the Panthers. Here we go the other way. Here's Cam Newton. He finds Devin Funchess. Bam, move the chains. He looking down to the sideline. We got the ball to Caitlin Clay, moving the chains. And then what happens? Intentional grounding. Why? Because you don't come up with a play call to have a safety net for you to check the ball down. That's an inability to set up plays. Because the Saints were very susceptible to the check down today. I don't know why, but that happened to be the case. They're actually better against the check down. He's one of the better defenses against the check down in the league. Evidently today, that wasn't really the case. They were open. I don't know how much the Panthers actually tried to utilize the check down, but they were open. If they had an extra person there, it could have really worked with their offense. But nonetheless, they ended up losing the game. Von Bell came in for the game-winning sack against Cam Newton. Now, the Saints are moving on to next week, and I'm kind of excited for these next week matchups. You got the Falcons taking on the Eagles. Now, a lot of people are counting the Eagles out because there's no Carson Wentz. That is a big portion. However, if the Eagles can get their run game going, we're having a whole conversation. You also got Minnesota taking on the Saints. That's my game of the week. You got Jacksonville coming to Pittsburgh for the Revenge Tour, of course. And then you have Tennessee traveling to Foxborough for a game with the Patriots over there. Game of the week, I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna go in unison with me. It's obviously the Saints taking on the Vikings. That's gonna be the best game of the week. However, there's other games to watch. I'm gonna get into another soliloquy probably on Friday, giving my game picks for who I think is gonna win in the divisional round. So that was my analysis for Wildcard Weekend. I'm 2-2. Last year I was 10-1. Only loss, obviously, being my bias. The Steelers ended up losing to the Patriots AFC Championship, but we're not talking about that. Broke my heart. I was very upset. But, look forward to that. Next week, got the wild card, the divisional round analysis, pre-game, pre-week, pre-games analysis coming up, so look out for that. But ultimately, it was a good weekend of football. Tomorrow, the national championship. Can't wait for that. Whoo! Don't you love a good game of football? Oh, I know I do, but I'm going back to the shadow realm, if you would excuse me. Oh!